Hi, my name is Donna Stanley and I'm with Endless Mountain Labradors, and today we're going to talk about how do I prevent and reduce shedding. This is one of the most common questions we get from people and one of the most frustrating things that owners of dogs and cats experience. And we have to approach it from a holistic perspective, which I always do anyway. And so hopefully with all of this input, you'll be able to narrow down what it may be that is causing this with your dog. One of the things that I get a comment from a lot of times when people come into my house, because I've been breeding labs for 30 years, and maybe they'll come to get a puppy or they'll visit our kennel, and they'll say, how come there's no lab fur around, and how come your dogs aren't shedding? Well, my dogs do shed like once a year, occasionally in the spring. Dogs tend to also shed if they're changing climate. So if my dogs, say, went from here to South Carolina, of course they would probably shed right away because we live in the northern part of Pennsylvania. One of the other reasons that can cause shedding, and I think one of the major reasons that dogs shed, and I've proven this over and over and over again over 30 years to people, and whenever they try this, they're like, you're right, it works. Here it is. Make sure that you're giving your dog a species appropriate diet. If you want to know more about that, you need to pause this button or wait till this video is over and go right to my video called The Best and Worst Foods for My Dog. And then there's another one about feeding raw diet, which is not all just about raw, but about just nutrition and feeding dogs in general. If your dog is not getting the proper nutrients and oils and probiotics, your dog is gonna shed constantly and it won't stop, okay? So you wanna, first of all, attack the food. We recommend two. If you go to my website, www.emlabradors.com, and click on the nutrition button on the drop down, there's a few of those links that we're gonna talk about today. First of all is supplement. If you're stuck on your food, even after you listen to my segment on dog food, which I doubt you will be, but if you are, then you may wanna check into the NuVet Canine Plus, which is a supplement you would give every day along with your food. Although if you're feeding a crappy food, you're kind of like, you're just spending money you don't need to for a supplement if you just change the food. Although I do like the supplement because a lot of foods don't have antioxidants in it. So one of the reasons that I require it for any dog that walks out of my house is not only for that, but for support for every single body, part of the body, every organ, the skeletal structure, and all of that. But it is one place to start if you've got shedding. Then also, Barf, which is biologically appropriate raw feeding, is the name of the company, Barf International. They also have a product that is an oil, and I think it's called Alaskan salmon oil. But what I love about that one is an easy pump, and all the other ones I've ever used are messy and I don't measure it right, and it tells you how many pumps on the back, and you just keep it right by your dog food, and when you fill your dog's bowl with dog food, just put how many pumps it says. Because essential fatty acids and fish oils are very, very important to maintaining a healthy coat and skin. So that is something that would be very important. Besides that, we do have an essential oil. We have something called the Hot Spot Allergy Spray, which a lot of people have found that has helped tremendously with the skin and coat on their dog, especially if they struggle with hot spots and itching. That can really, really help right off the bat. And sometimes, well, most times people tell me, the ones that write to me anyway, that it works immediately, like their dog will react immediately. And you wanna make sure as you're doing a spray like that after you're spraying the dog, that you're massaging it from tail to head, and then the dog will associate not the, oh my gosh, the spray, but the spray comes out and I get a massage. So that's a really good thing to do. Some other tips. And these are just things I've learned, especially from my show handlers, because when my dogs are out on the road and they're competing for titles, if they lose their coat, they're out of the game. We've got to wait another 6 months to, I don't know, at least 6 months till the coat comes back in good enough to be out there competing. So we can't have dogs lose coat. So we use a couple products, but they're more specialized, but one is called In-Flight. And then we do some other things like making sure our dogs sleep in a cool spot at nighttime, especially if you have Labradors or dogs with thick coats. really heavy coats, it can actually be more comfortable for them to sleep in a 40 to 55 degree room or garage or something instead of your 65 to 70 degree bedroom. Also, one of the tricks that one of my handlers used was every day, especially in the nicer temperature weather, he would soak the dogs down with cold water from the hose, which would trick their body into thinking that it's winter and hang on to their coat. So those are just a few things. I hope you'll find one of those that will be helpful to you, or 3 or 4 of those may be all helpful to you. And I will tell you, if you change the diet correctly, please watch that video and supplement properly. You're probably not going to have an issue, but there's a lot of people who are so emotional about foods and think they've got to feed this food that they end up dealing with the shedding and stuff anyway, and that's when you're just going to have to go with one of the supplemental products like I mentioned, either the oil from Barf or the Nuvet Canine Plus. And all that information again is on my website. Just click on that nutrition button and you'll find the drop-down menu and all the information on that. So I hope this has been helpful, and I hope that you will be able to stop struggling with a shedding dog. Thank you and have a great day.